Alex.
Hello, Jonas.
Nice to see you finally.
Nice to see you.
I'm gonna go straight for the questions. Um, so I'm wondering, what are the differences between you right now and you when you were a child?
When I was younger, I was much more quiet. I was more often depressed. Um, and it felt like when I did much more things, a lot of energy sucked out of my life. I had a lot of allergies. One time I was very allergic to sunlight. Also, like forests, being outside. A lot of anxiety and depression and stress has been very much influenced in my life.
Is that that anxiety that you're talking about? Was that there from the very beginning? Like, can you remember? Is like your first memory of your life, is that connected to anxiety as well, or
Mm, like the first memories, maybe when I was 2 years old. I don't believe I don't think like anxiety is something that always exists like right in the moment all the time. Something that is how I handle myself in situations that makes when I'm overthinking, when things are getting hard, when stuff is not going in the way that I want to.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you remember like a specific event in your life when you were approached by like your biggest challenge, kind of like when I say your biggest challenge, what comes up in your mind?
It comes up with my my most difficult times in my life. It's I have 3 occasions, but since I was younger, I've always had a very big challenge to take myself through, like just through time and life. And when I got 8 years old, I started to have like more and more headache till it got like constantly. Then I got stomach ache a few months after that. That just got constantly as well. And um, this constant headache and stomachache, it just pursued in such long time, and I always wished it would like disappear, but I did not know what could make it get better. So I always wished it would be better. And stress is one of these relations to what created it. I need to breathe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, so
How did your how did that affect your like studies? I mean, you went to school at that time. How did that affect your?
it was like the challenge for me was like I always had to do my highest capacity in every moment. I had to do stuff, for example, school, and to not be like a failure. It was like I always had to make the results for others, um, in the way that even if I did come with the result they were asking for, I was not even enough because they always wanted more. And I know that I was like I felt I was like a good kind of kid when I was younger. I had a very sharp sense, and I was before I had like stomachache and headache. I had a lot of more that I always wanted to give, and I wanted to show more. And so one of the challenges was mostly like to go through this time. It's I felt like a lot of people had hard times too. Like there were many of those stories that I heard, like people hating their jobs. They don't want to go to school. They always want to do something else, and they wishing for uh, yeah, they're wishing for more to do. I, ah, jag tappar bort mig lite. Okej.
No, but it's fine. So you describe this as a challenge, like coping with the time, coping with life, kind of, when you are having this stomach ache and headache.
Mm-hmm.
You are here now without that ache. At least I don't perceive you as a person with a lot of ache.
No.
So it feels like you overcame it, right?
Yeah.
And what choice did you have to take in order to overcome this challenge?
Jonas, I think we have to. I'm sorry. I think we have to. I wanted to tell more of the beginning because it's relatable to the next question, because I don't think I told enough about it.
Okay.
So I was beginning to something there, but I lost myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You do what you have to do.
yeah. So yeah, I when I wanted to be more specific about how the events was going, so people can understand a little bit more. I started to hate. Yeah, it's at school. I started to hate learning, because most of it felt very pointless, and um, and I felt like why should I learn something for somebody else? This was like questions in my head. Why am I in school if I don't like it? What should I do in the future if I really don't want to do what I'm doing right now? How will I manage my stress if I'm feeling unpleased with something I'm doing right now? Why am I feeling so stressed right now? And what is my headache and stomach pain? Why do I always feel it? And do I always feel it? Uh, these questions came up in my head all the time, because that was like my biggest issues and struggles that I had to went through. And what should I do to get and yeah, how can I be more understood to other people was also something that I had very hard to get through to others, because it always felt like people didn't really understand me, um, with how I felt within myself, what was my struggles, and so people didn't really understand it. So I always thought to myself, why am I not understood by others? Is it that I am not doing something right? Is it that I'm not trying enough to make others believe me? Is it that I'm telling? Why do people see that I am trying to telling the truth that makes people are mostly looking at me and thinking that I am just looking for attention, even if I'm trying to telling them the truth. And yeah, and most people just seem to be in acts. Wait. I need to breathe.
I cannot really follow you here, Alexander, because there are multiple challenges now. It feels like overwhelming almost. We have this challenge with the headache and the stomach ache. We have the challenge of not understanding why you're in school learning shit. And then we have this challenge of
These
not
are all
being
the
understood by
challenges.
others.
Yes, these are all the challenges that I've had to survive through, to get past through, to get away from, because they all persisted in the same time of my life, and I felt like I had no real way to get past them unless I tried my hardest and not giving up, because it was not really what could I do to do a better choice to get them go away. It was more like, what can I do to get to myself to get less struggle, to not get more struggles.
I see. It's almost like your biggest challenge was that you were hit by a storm of struggles and challenges, maybe. Like there were so many things, so you got confused, maybe overwhelmed, overthinking. Is that the biggest challenge, maybe?
It's like there is well, I wanted to say the biggest struggles for me was, I mean, the biggest challenge for me, it was not really to like get past, or this, to like there is not one struggle that is like more than another. It's like all of them together that makes one struggle. It's that that made it's that sculpted my life to make me feel in a certain way. So all that time that I, by all expectations and everything like that, that's I'm not not letting go of me. All the lies that comes up to me that makes me have to do stuff that is not enough, that I'm not doing, that even if I do it, it's not enough for me. And I couldn't really rest or anything from school, or from in my holidays or anything like that. So it was in a constant thinking of those things all the time. And in the same time, I always wanted it to get better. I always wanted it for one day to be understood that I also have these kind of things. That was one of the struggles that I felt much pain for, because I always wanted others to understand what I feel, and things like that. It takes a lot of time for me to, because I believed always that if I can explain it in one kind of way, if other people can understand me, it can be relieving for me, because then if other people can understand me, then they can actually help me. But because other people cannot understand me in any kind of way, it just makes a big lock for the solution that nobody can see, because nobody understands me.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a big challenge to try to reach out to people, but they don't understand you.
Yes.
Is that like the biggest challenge that we should investigate today, or do you want us to investigate another challenge in your life?
Investigate.
Yeah, I mean, explore maybe to explore, because I'm trying to nail this. I'm trying to make it possible for us to work with how you got out of your biggest challenge from this time.
Mm, yeah, we could maybe talk about that. Um, it's I believe that's like my core. That's been my biggest challenge for such a long time. It's something that I always wished for to overcome,
Mm.
and by time it has been that I have overcome it.
Wow, that's amazing. So if I understand you right, then your biggest challenge has been that you want to reach out to the world. Like, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is how I want to be acknowledged.
No, no, I meant the struggles within that time was to get out of all these struggles. It was like, um, for me, it felt like I was chained, and everything that came to me that I had to, that was something that I did not want to have in my life, was always like a new chain on me, and it felt like that part I'm released from that, and it makes me feel that I am much more free in my life, that I can make choices. It's The challenge was to hold in that line that I believe that I can get help. That was the challenge that I had to hold on to, because it's like, for me it was like a survival kind of thing. It was not really a choice between many choices to choose which one is the best one. It was either choose to hold to that line or like not hold it at all.
Hmm. And what was this line that you're talking about? What was your survival strategy?
The survivor strategy, it was, if I if I choose to if I choose we haven't talked about this. um I don't know.
But you overcame it. Now it's not there anymore. The big shame of having all these struggles and that you're locked and nobody understands you. This kind of shame is gone, right?
Yeah, it does. But what did I do to, what did I hold on to? What was my strategy? It was like, I think I have to go in more in depth in what was every kind of situation, because I believe the situations makes the colors of the paper. What was the way for me to pursue in every situation. I don't believe like, there is one strategy that functions for every situation, because it's like many situations within that time that I have to uh, flexible adapt to.
Could you give an example of a situation where you were able to overcome these struggles?
Mm, yeah, there's like, I can give you an example how you cannot understand it. So it's like, if I'm talking to somebody and I'm trying to make them understand my situation, in that in something that will happen and that has happened always before. It's like if I want to get out of something that I really hate in my life. Let's say just I'm getting too stressed of my holidays because I want a holiday, and I'm having hockey every 5 times a week, and I hate hockey, and I have to train every day, and I feel like I'm getting just weaker and weaker, and I don't even want to play hockey, and I have to do that for a very long time, and I don't, and every time I try to say anything, it just feels like people are saying that if you don't play it, you will just lose your life because you don't want to do anything in life. So if I'm trying to explain to anyone, um, it's like if I'm trying to bake a cake. You want to taste a cake. You want to understand how my life is. Um, you're asking like how does a fruit cake taste like? And I'm talking about, oh, it's a yellow topping on it. This is how it looks like on the topping side. And you don't want to know, and you say like, oh, but it's not like that. It's not a fruit cake. It's something else. There's not a That's not how a fruit cake looks like. And I'm just told them it's a yellow topping, nothing more. That's like how it feels like when I'm talking about how my life is to somebody, because it's so much more in depth that needs to be described, because there is so many more elements for other people that they cannot understand unless it takes a really long time for them to go into it.
So I actually want to. This might be a similar situation where I'm denying your fruitcake because you said that it has yellow topping. But I would suggest that your biggest challenge actually is this thing that you are trying to make yourself understandable, but people are misinterpret what is it called, like misinterpretations.
Yes, misinterpretate.
Yeah, they don't trust your way of seeing reality, and you are not taken seriously in your way of seeing life, way of seeing your life. I think that's your biggest challenge, that you weren't trusted.
Yeah, I think that's how other people are. I think it's when I tried so many times, it's been so clear that other people are not really using their conscious senses of and trying to really go in depth in what to help other people. They are more so very entangled with their time. Like we don't have time to like talk and go in depth in what my life, like what my struggles are. So it's like first of what I need to explain to them is like 20 minutes of what I really want to explain. Then I go in depth in what is happening and then what I need to, what is like what my struggles are and what I feel. There is like so many more layers to it, and I don't have anyone really that wants to even go into the first layer. So I feel like most people, like almost everyone, are very much using they are using their mind in what they have learned about many things in life, not really being conscious in the senses of what is happening right now in when they look at somebody else. It's they are not really aware of things around them as much as I wished if they were, and not so entangled with their own time. It would be much easier for them to relax and try to understand others people.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. And I might be one of those people now, Alexander, because I'm looking at the clock, and we've been doing this for 26 minutes now almost, and yeah, I am stuck, I guess, in the like mentality of delivery, that we need to deliver something. It needs to be a product. And I guess that's the problem that all people have had maybe throughout your life. When you are trying to show the complexity, you're trying to go deeper and to reflect upon things in your way, and people are like, but this isn't a product. This is not understandable. This is I cannot use this.
Yes. Yeah, the priority of purpose, maybe. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. And I like that this session of ours has been like, for me, it has been like exploring some kind of not knowing, like exploring something that we don't understand. To me, this has been a very confusing conversation, and I kind of appreciate that.
Yes, because as I said, it's as we said, its complexity is not. It has to go layers deeper down to understand more of the context to it, because I cannot explain the context. I need to explain first as what the purpose of what I'm trying to say is. Then it's much easier to go down, because then things will make sense.
Mm. So, okay, your biggest challenge might have been that people don't, they are not interested in going there with you. They are not interested in exploring that area of consciousness, that area of reality. People want products, and you want to be understood in a deeper sense. So let's say that that was your main challenge when you were a kid, when you were growing up, when you went to school. Um, how did you overcome that challenge? If we try to make a product out of this conversation.
How it's by doing my best, I guess. It's hold on my own beliefs that I hope that one day it will get better. It's nothing that it's only that I can do my best. It's not up to somebody else, really. I can only do what I can do.
Yeah, sounds like a path that you chose to walk.
Yes. Started this path when I was 8
And
years
what
old.
did that path teach you? Sorry, what did you say?
I started this path when I was 8. It was that when it began. That I realized I had to go this path. Then I just realized how long it was by the time. So it taught me a few things. It taught me how to go into myself, how to understand others in that way when I go into myself and see how things really are. It taught me also that I believe that people are trying, but they are not aware of what they cannot do. So they believe they are smarter, or they believe they know something that they cannot do, and they they also themselves have similar problems that they cannot handle as well. Most people have like own struggles that I cannot help them with, and some people are not looking for purpose. They're looking for like solace. They're looking for something that comfort other people. So if they try to help me, some people will just try to comfort me, and that really doesn't help for me. And my experience of when I suffer, when I feel really bad, I realized it's mostly an illusion of my own mind. So it has helped me to understand that, and that I believe the most people that believes they know something, I feel like they are usually the ones that are most fake in some way. when they really believe that they can, or they believe that they know something about somebody else, those people, I understood from myself that it's much more likely that they are really fake. And I look more for people to trust, and not really for answers from others, because it's much better to really trust somebody. And it took me a very long time to understand that. And also not be close to somebody that is insensitive to me. It will it mostly will fuel their own false perception.
Mm. Yeah, by saying this, Alexander, it feels like you almost answered the last question of mine as well. Like, what do you think others could learn from your path? What do you want to teach us? Yeah, how do you want us to feel? Do you have anything to add there? Because you've been through a journey. I mean, I think you have a lot to teach to the rest of us. I'm very surprised by this conversation. I love this conversation. You made me think in a completely new way today. So I have learned something just by listening to you.
That's very nice. I'm glad to. That's maybe a reason why I got into these struggles, um, so it can be better. Um, should I answer the last question about what can we teach? Um I have only one thing to say here. It's like, um, it has not. I don't know if it has anything to do with this, but I believe people's worst fear is what stops us from being more of what we want, and everyone's fear is there because they don't know how to handle it a better way.
So you mean that everyone's fear is present because they don't know how to handle their fear.
They don't know how to handle what they don't know.
Mm. Ja, I think that's it for now, Alexander.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I am very pleased to talk about this. It's very relevant for me to explain for others. It feels like it gives something out.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed listening to you as well. Bye for now.